In today's video, I'm going to share with you a fantastic exercise to make sure you're rotating your hips correctly in the backswing and that you're starting sequencing your downswing correctly. Make sure you check this video out. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today in my back garden. Today's video, as I mentioned in the intro there, is actually going to be about creating a better hip turn rather than a slide on your backswing. And this fantastic exercise is going to really work well on sequencing your downswing, starting your downswing from the ground up with your lower body first. So we'll jump into that in just a second. If you're new to my channel and you haven't seen one of my videos before, if you enjoy this, hit the thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you hit the little bell icon, it just notifies you every time a new video goes live. And the info for my social media channels just coming along the bottom of the screen here as well. Well worth checking out for lots of other daily content. Golf-wise, to really help your golf game. So I'm going to jump straight into the drill. So what I've set up here is a couple of tour sticks already on the ground. I've got one that is parallel to my target line and it's about in the center of my feet. So it's on my feet line, it's parallel to my target line down this way. I've got one then that is between my feet and it's set out at about 45 degrees. Okay, so you can play around with that angle. And the third tour stick cane, I'm just going to put through my belt loops. And I'm going to share with you as to how this drill can work for the backswing, but how it can work for sequencing better in the downswing also. So backswing wise, as a fault, what I tend to see often is the hips slide too much or don't rotate enough. This exercise is really going to help you rotate. So what I'm going to try and do on the backswing is actually match this red cane with this red cane on the ground. So I'm actually allowing my hips to rotate. Now I can rotate and still apply pressure towards that trail foot. You will see from the downline camera as my hips rotate, I'll start to lose a bit of flex in that knee. We do not need to hold that leg dead straight unless we are so supple, so flexible that we can create a big shoulder turn with a very restricted lower body turn. This half, lower half, is normally having to turn about half of the upper half, but it will depend on age, fitness, flexibility, injuries. So find out what's right for you. But for me to create a good 90-degree shoulder turn here behind the golf ball, you will see that my hips have turned around 45, around half of that. Okay, so although this, you know, if there is a bit of play there between your belt loops, depending on how tight those are, you will find, I've got a belt on actually, which helps keep it in place. You'll find it's a rough measurement. Obviously, my hips will maybe look like they've rotated a fraction more than they really have, but it's a very good indication. It's a very good drill for that. So I'm trying to create hip turn in my backswing to allow my trail leg to lose a bit of flex, to allow my trail hip, my right hip, to turn behind me, and that means I can complete my backswing. So it's a great exercise for those perhaps who have too short a backswing, too restricted, or that lose their backside line. They lose their posture already in the backswing. I meet a lot of golfers who on the backswing, the backside's moving forwards, the head's going up, and they're tending to straighten too early. The other part this exercise works really well for is in the downswing, what I want to start with is my lower body. I want to feel like I keep my upper body back delayed, and I want to feel like I start my downswing sequence with my hips. So all I'm going to ask you to do is get to the top. Your hips will be matched up with the other tour stick on the ground, and what you're trying to do is keep your upper body back, but feel like you start with your lower body and see if you can get this red cane to move closer to the one that's parallel to your target line. Now I'm not going to get it there as I keep my upper body back, but I'm going to try and get the cane somewhere between these two red lines. So what I could do, if I put this across my shoulders again, that's my backswing. Good hip turn, good full shoulder turn. I'm starting my downswing sequence. I'm keeping my upper body back and just starting with my lead hip, my lead knee. I've done videos talking about how do we start our downswing sequence and how do we focus on that. And I will put a link here to a video where I give you 3 options, 3 ways that I think work really well. I've always liked the feeling that my lead knee moves back out over towards the middle of my lead toe. And you can see that has the effect of allowing my hips to start to recenter. And again, I've talked about recentering hips, so I'll put another link just here worth checking out also. But the downswing sequence, let's start with our lower body, and that's really starting to create a bigger X factor stretch, that difference between upper body and lower body. It's starting to apply pressure towards my lead side, and as I said, it's allowing my my upper body to feel like it stays back. That will allow my arms to drop rather than pulling down or a bad sequence. So it can really help me improve my sequence, improve my swing path. Backswing, let's let the hip turn. And let's start the downswing with that lead hip starting to move back so the cane points somewhere between these two red lines on the ground. Fantastic exercise. You can do that then with the golf club in your hand. That's the backswing move. That's my start of my downswing. So I'm feeling like I leave my arms up to start my downswing. There's nothing stopping you hitting some shots doing that, but when you're trying to do something and focus on do you get into those positions, you may want to take the pace out of it to start with, or at least have a couple of rehearsals. So, backswing move, start of the downswing move. Just get it with the lower body first. Let's do a nice slow pace one. So not the strike I was looking for, definitely out of the toe, started right to target, but my sensation was that, one, I could see out my peripheral vision that I was matching these lines up, and two, I was trying to start with my lower half first. It's a feeling, it's an exercise you can obviously do at home like I am here. Airflow balls, you don't need to hit full shots into a net. You can just do the exercise even at home with the club across your shoulders, the canes in position as I've showed you. And then what you can do is take that feeling to the driving range and eventually take that feeling to the golf course. So that's the feeling I want to try and get. Allow my hips to rotate and start my downswing sequence with the lower body first. And you can see I put a little bit more pace into that one, maybe getting up to sort of 60, 70% before I can put it into something fuller. Depending on how flexible you are, you know, if you can get that lower body really starting to move back to square almost before your upper body starts down, fantastic. You will generate a lot of power from there. So even with that through, it gives you that real sensation. The downswing sequence is lower body first. Massive power source. So if you're looking for more speed, more power, completing your hip turn will allow you to complete your shoulder turn, and starting your downswing sequence with your lower body first is exactly what we want for power and speed. If this video has helped, as I said at the start, hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel to never miss a video again.